Hello and welcome to September 1st, 2023. It is Anthony and Andrew here with Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update. First and foremost, I would like to see if we could get everybody to like and subscribe. The subscribe button actually helps us to grow, and we're pretty close to 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, hit the subscriber thing. I guess that's good for us.
Yeah, it works with the algorithm. Usually I say leave a comment because that helps, but this one I just want to open up with saying subscribe, and if you've already subscribed, then share so your friends will subscribe.
All right, so that's cool. Also, we put the date up on the screen today.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do from now on. Maybe we don't lead in anymore with the date. No big deal, but...
I was watching old videos, and I was like, oh, yeah, I get it. Now I know why people want to see the date because, I was watching a video from 2022, and we're talking about Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. So that makes sense. So anyway, this show is going to be a little bit of a mishmash. Yeah, it's going to be a mishmash show. Where we're going to talk about several things more briefly than usual, but there's just a lot going on. I mean, it's been a week since we've done an update, and a lot happens in Vegas in a week.
Well, you've been busy. You released your LVA, your monthly.
Oh man, yeah, newsletter week. That's hell week. That's hell week. But that was yesterday. We got it out on the last day of the month, like we typically do. And we're going to go over a couple of things. First thing is, did everybody see the blooper last week?
You got to watch the entire video.
Yeah. For those who didn't look at it, who didn't watch it all the way through, at the end of the show, even after Andrew sings, right, the out song, whatever you call it.
The outro.
Yeah, you put, and Andrew did this. I didn't even know.
I thought it was funny.
He goes, come in here and take a look. So there's a pretty funny blooper that we had. Now, the thing is, we've had a lot of, we could do this, and we probably will going forward because we got such a good response for it.
Yeah.
But we can't tell you like now because we don't know when we're going to do one.
It just happens.
Yeah. So it's like I can't say, watch to the end of the show and check out the blooper because we don't know if the blooper is going to happen until it happens, right?
Right.
So go back to last week's show and check it out after the song. It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. It's in reflection, and thank you for the guys who watched it in the comments and actually commented. The other thing is you make odds, and we talked about it. We said, how many people do you think? What are the odds that people are going to watch till the end?
Yeah, some people did, and all of a sudden they started writing about it, and there we go. So,
all right. So moving on.
Yeah, let's talk about Bob Taylor's ranch house.
Yeah,
which is located on the north side of town.
That's right. Don't give them hell.
Is everybody happy now?
Yeah.
I said the south. Last week I said the south. I mean, we're talking, and I said it's on the south side of town, and I didn't think anything of it. Then
but you're talking about Bob Taylor's on the north side of town.
Bob Taylor's on the north side of town, and I said south, and the whole place. And I mean, how many people had to tell us, "Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, you made a mistake."
Some people went berserk over it.
I mean, geez. I mean, and the funny thing is, we knew it. When we watched it down, I said, "Whoops, I just said south. It's north." And you said, well, do you want to reshoot that? Do you want to redub it, overdub it, whatever? I said, no, it's not that important. Yeah. And everybody like pitches a fit over the damn thing.
Yeah, there's a percentage of people who go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Hey, look, we make mistakes sometimes. So anyway.
But we correct them.
It's on the north side of town. Somebody says we lost credibility. Somebody wrote, you lost credibility with that.
Well, okay, so I thought when they said you lost credibility, they were talking about like, oh, I don't like the steak. Bob Taylor sucks.
Right. I think they were saying, no, you were wrong, so I don't know if I can ever trust you again.
Okay, so now if you're the person who commented that we lost credibility, please clarify.
Yeah, it's the north side of town. In fact, it's 6250 Rio Vista Street. Okay, so enough of Bob Taylor.
All right, but let's move on to something that's really exciting happening in town.
Peter Luger.
Yeah,
they finally had the opening date.
Now, boy, in last week's episode again, like when I was posting all the pictures of the steakhouses, like how good did Peter Luger's look?
Yeah, well, it is good. November 1st is when it's going to open at Caesar's Palace. It's actually taking over for Old Homestead. Old Homestead used to be their top steakhouse. Now it's going to be Peter Luger, but it's not in the Old Homestead space. It's on the south end, not the north. No, exactly. It's going to be.
That's funny.
It's going to be where Rayo's used to be. Over in the back there. Yeah. And this is another funny one, the Luger thing, because the last time everybody jumped on me was when I said that I had gone to the original Peter Luger in Brooklyn, right over the Brooklyn Bridge, and everybody went crazy because it's the Williamsburg Bridge.
No, it's Williamsburg.
Yeah, I know. So we went through that there. But anyway, Peter Luger, November 1st, get ready. If it's anything like the Brooklyn one, you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Expensive, but good.
All right, here is an interesting one. If you're coming to Vegas, I used to tell people all the time that wherever I'm staying on the north end of the Strip, I'll always park at the Venetian because it's free.
Right.
But what happened?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
We had talked about this a few weeks ago that they were going to start charging, and they have. September today, I guess, was the kickoff on this. What is it? $15 for 4 hours now at Venetian Palazzo.
Okay.
If you stretch it to 24 hours, it's 18. On weekends, it's 23. But what's interesting about this is that there's no 1 hour grace period. And like almost all of these places have a 1 hour grace period where you can park, and if you get out under an hour, they don't charge you. But no, the second you park there, you owe them $15.
Even if you're a local.
No, locals are going to get 3 hours free.
Okay.
So they are making a nod to locals, but anyone else, you cannot park there unless you're ready to pay $15. So that's too bad. And in other parking news, Cosmopolitan, as of September 20th, is going to, they already charge parking fees there, but not for hotel guests. And now hotel guests are also going to be hit with those charges.
Okay, so guys, you can always go to LasVegasAdvisor.com and check out the parking fees page, right?
Yeah. The good plays in that area now are Resorts World, where it's free if you get a club
player's card. Yeah.
Circus, still free.
Treasure Island.
So there's still, you got options.
Also, you got the Oyo on the south end. You got the Tropicana still.
Yep, they're still we got them listed in our parking fees section.
Yep. Go to LasVegasAdvisor.com if you're coming to Vegas. That parking, if you have a car, Oyster Hunt. The middle name of my future child.
I didn't think about that.
Let's talk about what's going on at the South Point.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. The last episode, we talked about the $2 oyster special at Aria. And I said, man, there used to be dollar oysters everywhere. And now there's $3 everywhere. And I'm seeing $4 and $6 and $7 for an oyster. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, those $7 ones, like they've got caviar on them and stuff. But what happened to the dollar oysters? So we went looking around. And we found one, not quite $1, but $1.21. This is at South Point. It's the Big Sur Oyster Bar.
Okay, right in the middle there.
Yep, a dozen oysters, $14.50, comes out to $1.21 a piece.
Not bad.
Yeah, this is not bad these days, man. And that's every day during their lunch special, which runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So these are, they're not the fancy oysters. They're not Blue Points or these Kumayas or whatever they call them. These are the, like the Louisiana Gulf oysters.
Nice.
The bigger ones.
Okay.
They're bigger ones. They fill you up. They're not considered, gourmet type
big
oysters.
Fatties.
Yeah. A lot of people call them Eastern oysters now.
Nice. Okay.
But I got a dozen of them. The ones you just saw on the screen, I demolished them.
Okay, great.
And it was great. You can get a beer with it for $4.50. It's just another great South Point thing.
Yeah.
We talk about all the good restaurants there. One restaurant we didn't talk about last week when we were talking about best steakhouses is their steakhouse, the Silverado Steakhouse.
Okay.
Which is a very, it's very cost friendly, and the food is great, a nice atmosphere, but they have one thing special. They have the absolute best baked potato on the planet.
Really? What's so good about it?
I don't know what they do to it, but first of all, they load it with, just all the good stuff.
Uh-huh.
But there's something about that potato.
Okay.
And when we first wrote it in the Las Vegas Advisor, we said this is the best potato in Vegas, bar none. And people are going, how could that be? And then we started getting people writing in going, okay, I tried it and you're right. So
all right, cool.
Silverado Steakhouse baked potato. So either go get some oysters or go get a steak and a potato and then go play video poker there. That's one of the best video poker houses we've been saying, 99% plus almost all their games. You almost can't go wrong.
Okay, now South Point, let's talk about it just for a second because it's a little bit off the beaten path if you're coming to Vegas, right?
Yeah, it's south, further, off the Strip. So you got to go off a little ways.
If you're there, you got free parking, back to the, announcement of Venetian charging. Like South Point's totally free and an abundance of parking.
Yeah. Well, South Point is run by Michael Gaughan. And Michael Gaughan used to own all of the, like the Orleans and Gold Coast and all of the Boyd properties. And he went off on his own. He just said, I'm going to take this one casino and I'm going to make it great.
Yeah.
And he really did. I mean, South Point is just a terrific place to go.
I tell people all the time, if you're coming to Vegas for a few days, spend a full day at South Point because once you're there, you're a little off the beaten path. But stay there. There's 12 restaurants. There's a bowling alley. There's a movie theater. There's a lot of things to do.
Yeah. Well, I took a friend that was visiting from Detroit. he didn't like oysters when I went to get the oysters, and I said, "Sportsbook, hot dog cart, see you down there."
Yep.
So I went and had oysters. He had a hot dog for $1.50, and high recommendation for South Point. Good deal on the oysters.
All right, so last week, if you check it out, we did an introduction to the football contests that are going down in Las Vegas, at least the really big ones. There's a whole bunch. But let me kick it over to Anthony to continue on what's going on with some of the football contests in town.
Well, what we're looking at right now is Circa.
Circa,
Because we're looking at the potential of the overlay, when they don't get enough contestants entrants to make up the guarantee.
Right.
So right now, here's what we're looking at. Circa Survivor looks like it's going to get there. They need 8,000, and they've got over 6,000. They got almost 6,100 now.
Okay.
With about 9 days to go. But Circa Million, they need 6,000 entrants, and they have 3,400. They're a long ways away.
Okay.
So there's a good chance. We'll keep updating it. But right now, we're looking at a possible overlay with Circa Million.
Now, you said the last 2 days is when a lot of people jump in.
Yeah. So we won't know till then, but it looks like a possibility for sure.
All right, and we'll continue to report on it leading up to the final day. All right, so let's talk about the Downtown Grand Video Poker Tournament that is going to be going down September 7th.
Yep, we got the opening date for that. We've been talking about their...
We've been teasing.
And we've been talking about their blackjack tournament, which we play all the time.
Yeah, every Thursday, except you didn't make it
I
yesterday.
didn't make it yesterday. I was on deadline. So.
Yeah, the people were bummed out.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, they were bummed out because they had an easy mark on the table that didn't show up. But
Right.
But next time I'll be there next week. But they're also going to do also on Thursdays. All right. So the blackjack tournament starts at 3. It's usually over by 5 or 5:30. They're going to start the video poker tournament 5 or 6 o'clock.
Correct.
So you can actually do both. It's going to be a $25 entry fee, and next week it will be a blackjack and video poker for me.
Okay, now me too. Now this is going to be a hang, right? Like you can come and spend a few hours at the Downtown Grand. So it's $25 entry to the blackjack tournament. Going to be the same with the video poker tournament. The video poker tournament, there's no vig.
You're playing with funny money, and they're giving back all of the entry fees in prize money.
All right, and just a quick note on the Joe Payne Memorial Poker Tournament coming up.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about this. We talked about my friend and one of my authors, Joe Payne, who died suddenly in May, I think it was. And his friends are putting together the inaugural Joe Payne Memorial Poker Tournament, which will be held this month, September 16th to 17th, at a place called The Space.
Okay.
All right, it's an area, it's a non-casino place behind Cosmo, and it's a $100 buy-in. There's going to be some good prizes, like a World Series of Poker entry fee to the main event.
Wow. Okay.
Various things. I think it's the main event. It might be another one. This is going to be good. Joe was, a very good gambler. He was a professional player. He has a lot of professional player friends. There's going to be a lot of people there that are kind of luminaries in the gambling world. So anybody, September 16 to 17, we'll put some information up about it. It's $100 to play. You'd meet a lot of people there. I'm going to play it for sure.
Cool.
And we'll tease it again next week, right before it goes off.
And in this week's question of the week, it comes to us from the comments, which I think is super cool. So we were just perusing the comments, and somebody was asking, who is Billy Walters? And I'm not sure who he is.
Yeah, they said they wanted us. Actually, what they said is, can you talk about Billy Walters?
Right, okay.
And I can talk about Billy Walters. I don't know Billy Walters. He's one of the few of the big gamblers in all of these years that I've never crossed paths with in any way. But I know a lot about him. I know a lot of people who did work with him and for him. And he's just, simply one of the biggest, probably the biggest sports bettor in the world, and has been for decades, except for maybe Mattress Mac.
I was going to say, do him and Mac know each other? Do they talk?
They don't, but I mean, until Mac came along, nobody bet like Billy.
Yeah.
And there's a difference, though. Mac does it for one reason. Billy does it for profit. And, it's an interesting guy. I don't know him, but I know a lot about him. He's from Kentucky, and he was essentially a degenerate gambler.
Really?
He had a real problem. This is his own admittance that he was a degenerate gambler that loved to play and always lost, and figured out in his head that if I'm going to do this, I better learn how to win.
Okay.
And that's what he did. And he put together a computer attack on the casinos, on sports books, and became one of the biggest and most successful sports bettors of all time. Now, he's just come out with a book. It's called Gambler: Secrets from a Life at Risk.
Okay.
Where, he talks about his life and what he did. Talks a lot about Phil Mickelson, what a big gambler he was, I guess, apparently.
The golfer.
Yeah, the golfer. According to the book, Mickelson Walters says Mickelson bet $1 billion
Wow.
over 3 decades and lost nearly $100 million.
Well, what about John Daly? Isn't he another guy who's like spent $1 billion as a
I don't
golfer?
think Daly spent that or wagered that much. I think Mickelson really kind of probably takes the crown there. But he had a falling out with Mickelson, so he wanted to talk about Mickelson in the book.
Wow.
Along with that, I'll tell you, we did a book called Gambling Wizards.
Okay.
Richard Munchkin, and I think there's 7 or 8 chapters there on the biggest gamblers in the world, and there's a whole chapter there on Billy Walters.
Wow.
And it talks about some of these things, so I know a lot about him, because of that. And then Blair Rodman, who has met Billy Walters, his book all about sports betting is coming out, and there's some stuff in there about Billy Walters there as well.
Okay. So if you're interested in Billy Walters, that's a few things to go investigate further.
Yeah, one more source, a book by Michael Koenig called The Smart Money.
Okay.
And Michael actually worked for Billy for a while and then wrote what it was like working for him. So, I mean, there's a lot of information out there about Billy Walters. Fascinating guy, very successful. His own book is going to be the best source of information anywhere.
Okay, one last question. What about in sports betting, Derek Stevens? How does he fit into this?
Well, Derek Stevens is an operator.
Right.
So, Derek was a bettor too.
Yeah, doesn't he place big bets?
He does place big bets, usually for promotional purposes.
Yeah.
And but Derek in his day did a lot of betting. Now he's a sportsbook operator, so he's the other side.
Okay.
It's Billy versus Derek when it comes to that sort of stuff.
All right, so I can't go to a gas station in town without seeing Derek. What's the line or whatever it is?
Yeah. Well, because he's trying to get people to enter the football contest that we were talking about. So.
Yep, and you are.
I will.
And in this week's jackpot of the week, Megabucks hit again.
Yeah, we gotta. Every time Megabucks hits, we've got to make a jackpot of the week.
This is massive.
It's rare. This time it hit at Aria.
Okay.
And 10.16 million.
Incredible.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is a good news, bad news thing, right? So the winner gets 10.16 million, but it had just reset to 10 million after it hit at Cannery in July.
Okay.
So it's just one month later it hits again. It's a approximately 1 in 50 million shot to hit the top jackpot, but people have been pulling it off here. 3rd time this year. Here's one interesting story about Megabucks. Do you know that on the opening day of the Mirage, it hit at the Mirage?
Wow, in the 80s.
Yeah, and there was all of this, late 80s. And there was all of this speculation that they had set it up, these conspiracy theories, and they didn't.
You can't.
You can't. And I mean, they just got shit lucky because that's what they wanted, something like that to happen. It was the opening day, come to the Mirage, the first mega resort, started the whole, era of the mega resort, and somebody hits Megabucks.
Right.
So, Megabucks has a long and storied history, lots of stories connected. But this one, 10.16 million, jackpot of the week. Congrats.
That's it for this week. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Anything to add, Anthony?
No, we're going to do another live feed, probably not next week, probably in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But we'll confirm that next week. And I don't know if there's a blooper on this one or not, so you might want to watch to the end.
Well, I'm going to Las Vegas, where the stick man, he recognized me. He said, hey man, do you need another shot at freedom and harmony with your jackpot in Vegas?
It's good to
Park. If you have a car, it's good to park it sometimes.
if you have a car, it's
All right, next.